Well, it's good to see you for day 25 of our program, 30 Days to Natural Diabetes and High Blood Pressure Control. I'm Dr. David DeRose. I've been your guide on this journey for the last, better than 3 weeks. And now we're speaking about stress. One more time, our third day in this little mini-series. Harness some stressors, that's the topic. Now, this may sound perplexing, and if we go back to that illustration of the lion in the bedroom, you remember that. So you're watching this video, all of a sudden you look up, there's the lion. It's growling, the tail's twitching. You could really relate to yesterday's presentation, right? You would love to eliminate that lion. Whatever it took, you'd love for him just to be gone, remove the stressor. But here's a question. Would that be the best thing to do with a lion? I mean, wouldn't it even be better if you could befriend the lion? If you could earn its confidence? If you could have a giant pet now that you could walk around the block with? Think what security that would give you if you had a lion for a pet. You could rent the lion out on movie sets. You say, how is this practical? Because many times in life, there are things that we can do. There are things that we can do where we can actually harness the stressors. We can actually get stressors that were stressing us out to work for us. Let me give you an example. My wife had the privilege some years ago of getting to know the now late Hulda Crooks. Hulda Crooks became very famous, and you'll immediately recognize why if you've never heard her name, because my wife was doing some exciting stuff with her many years ago. They went hiking up Mount Whitney together. It wasn't just the two of them. It was a whole group of people. A lot of people wanted to be around Hulda. She was 85, hiking up Mount Whitney, over 14,000 feet in height. In her 90s, she hiked Mount Fuji. But listen, Hulda Crooks was a stressed woman in her 60s. She told my wife she was stressed by ill health. And instead of allowing the ill health to overwhelm her, she looked at ill health as a challenge to try to improve her health. And so she took that stressor of poor health and she said, I'm going to exercise. I'm going to use my ill health stressor. Of course, she didn't use those exact words, but I'm going to use that ill health stressor to help me, motivate me to everyday exercise. And she became famous, world famous, for her exploits climbing mountains into her 90s. Let's bring it home to you. In our book, we've actually got a quiz in the 30 Days to Natural Blood Pressure Control book, and it's one that relates to a common stressor, time urgency. This is a quiz used by a study called the Cardia study. It was a study that looked at relatively young people between the ages of 18 and 30, followed them over time. And they took this quiz, every one of them, in their 18 to 30-year age range. Let's go through the quiz together, see how you do. You can get a score of 0 if you say no to all the questions, a score of 4 if you say yes to all of them. So 1 point for each answer of yes. We'll see how you do. First question, number 1. In general, I feel pressured for time. If that's the case, give yourself 1 point. Question 2. I feel pressured at the end of an average work or housework day. If the answer is yes, you get a point. No? No points. Question 3. Others feel I eat too quickly. Did you catch that one? Others feel you eat too quickly. If that's true, you get a point. If not, no points. Question 4. I get quite upset when having to wait for anything. How did you score? Well, when they looked at people that answered yes to the majority of the questions, so in other words, they got 3 or 4 points. So yes to 3 out of the 4 questions, or 4 out of the 4, they had nearly double the risk of developing high blood pressure over time compared to those individuals who scored a 0. Interesting, isn't it? So say you're time pressured. How can I harness that? Well, here's how it works. Normally, if you're in line at the grocery store and you got to wait 10 minutes, you get frustrated, you get upset. Okay, you're time pressured. Well, we're not saying to change your time pressured orientation, but instead of getting stressed, now when you're waiting in line, you're carrying your smartphone with a Spanish app where you're learning Spanish. You got 10 minutes to learn more Spanish vocabulary. Do you see how that could work? You're doing something with the time. So an interruption, a time of waiting, becomes an opportunity. You harness the stressor. You make it work for you. Those are some examples. Hopefully one of them is connected with you. Your challenge to try to find some stressor, something that's stressing you out, and find a way to make it work for you. That's the challenge on day 25. We'll have another task for you tomorrow. All these things are focused at helping you get your blood pressure, your blood sugar under better control. I'm Dr. David DeRose. I'll be back with more tomorrow. Don't miss it.